Yo, we're back. Welcome back to the Adventures Guide to the Galaxy. We have a special one for you today. Now, I don't know how long this is going to be. This is going to be the Kyrie Irving, Kanye West, Elon Musk plus emotional lemon juicer. Now, the reason why I came up with that is because obviously everybody can tell that this is just like something they're throwing out on television to just get everybody's emotions up and to like threaten people and all this other stuff. First Amendment, Elon Musk is buying Twitter, even though he's, no disrespect to anybody who likes Elon Musk or whatever, or don't like him. This isn't really about any of that. He was like, the World Economic Forum, Young Global Leaders. So that's why he has like I think it was like 2008. So that's why he has a lot of the more modern connections, but people don't really know. Elon Musk is the creator of like the X.com, which eventually became PayPal. If you guys remember the whole exact thing, because I'm doing like a big picture thing, my brain's a little scrambled here. So he's the X.com, which called PayPal Mafia. He's one of those, original people that invented that. He's got SpaceX, he's got Tesla, he's got a lot of other things, the Boring Company. And so a lot of people are just really just hurt when he gets on there and he does tweets and all this stuff. But I want to like let people know is that like you need to be careful like worshiping any of these people for or against, especially against, because you're just being completely just sent to like another world, which a lot of people they have no idea what's going on. So they're just going to see the TV says, and oh my God, Kanye West, he's anti-Semitic, oh my God, he's making people attack Jewish people. Oh, I don't believe that any of those people actually care about that stuff. First of all, because if America collapsed and they're doing all this corrupt stuff, people are going to be attacking, and there's crime all over the place. Jewish people are being attacked. They don't care. They actually silence that. Second of all, I work with a lot of people, and I don't think anybody's really concerned about that. They're concerned with like all the really terrible stuff that's going on in America. Now, when it comes to the things that are actually said, I watched like the Lex Friedman interview with Kanye West. I watched the Drinking Brothers podcast, Drinking Bros, and it wasn't really anything that wasn't said by like, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, or any Democrats whenever it was convenient for their political narrative, or Republicans whenever it was the same thing, or, whatever. It's like nobody really cares about that. But this has to do not with their comments harming people, because then they'll throw a bunch of news stories out there. Oh my God, Jews are being attacked. Really show me some things. Oh, those were probably in the places that we don't want to talk about crime, so never mind. It's really strange, And also, if no, that was too crazy. let me back up there. So this is really about influence peddling, right? Influence peddling. Elon Musk, influential guy, right? Kanye West, Kyrie Irving, David Icke, all these other people that they'll throw someone on TV and they'll literally be like, look at what he's making me do. And they'll just be like torturing. They're like, it's like, you can't even watch it. You're just like, oh my God, shut up. Oh my God. Okay, stop crying. Let's turn the channel. Influence peddling, right? They don't actually care about any of these groups that they're completely just whining on about, because all those people are suffering regardless of whatever they believe because of, the industry telling the industry and the government and the, the lizard people, whoever, the they, the them, redacteds, whatever you want to call them, as Daryl Guberman would say, ANSI and ANAB, because it is part of them. Influence peddling, because obviously today's November 7th, tomorrow's election day, and it's like super big deal that going forward, everybody just goes back to sleep, as in like, just goes back to their regular life, doesn't think about politics or COVID or, the Atlantic coming out with that stupid article talking about, oh, we want amnesty for literally trying to genocide you guys, and you guys survived through it and found us as we were like literally handing the cookie jar. Oh my God. And like these people really think that calling everybody anti-Semite for, calling out like racism and, bigotry and homophobia and all that stuff, and, in an industry, like the music industry and Hollywood and all that stuff, Kanye West or some girl like Britney Spears, or, all the people that you loved growing up that just randomly went crazy one day and you were told that they were crazy. When all these people are like, hey, I was a woman and I was a child in this industry, I was sexually assaulted, bad things happened to me, the most horrific things ever, and it's out there, you see it, and people just like, oh no, I don't want to, in a little bubble, right? Bubbles getting popped these days. And they will throw out any word, any term, any oh my God, because bubbles are getting popped nowadays. Now, you look at America, it's a giant bubble, right? When it comes to influence peddling, right? If that, it's already been burst, like bigger, little, small, medium-sized bubbles for certain, which is a narrative, those pop, right? And when that happens, everybody who's inside that bubble, they're forced to deal with reality, and there's really nothing that they can do about it. And once you have to deal with enough bad stuff, there's no coming back to the regular person who, oh my gosh, everything I was taught in terrible schools with stupid history, and they didn't teach me anything about how to actually function in society, like taxes and stuff. Yeah, those people, yeah, oh, they're great, they love me, oh my God, there's nothing bad. You're never going back to that. So whenever an influence bubble gets popped, then the people who everyone's complaining about, the capitalists, the socialists, the communists, the technocrats, all those people are all in one group and they're all friends, right? This religious group, that religious, group that rules everything, the bankers, the World Economic Forum, all the Republicans, the Democrats, they're all up here in this little group, and you're everyone else. Like, that's just how it is, and a lot of people are starting to figure that out, and that's why they're freaking out about midterms. It's not even about, oh, I like Republicans and Democrats. It's basically whatever the beast system wants, people do the opposite. So then it just becomes, I'm the system, you're a bunch of plebes, and you're wanting the opposite of what I want. And then it becomes that, and it's the us versus it. And then once it becomes that, once you realize what the it is, there's no shame, there's no you're trying to be a Hitler, oh my God, you're literally worse than Hitler because you literally saw something, or you found out that one of these Hollywood trainers has actually been poisoning and assassinating all your favorite stars, going, oh my God. And that's what it's about. It's not about they actually care about Jewish people or black people or any other minority community or white people or animals or the environment. It's holy crap, the humans have figured out that we're pretending to be all this rainbow coalition, not to use the rainbow out of the, for a pun there, but this little, multi-coalition of different types of people who all hate all you poors, and we have like actual, agendas trying to get rid of you, and we're not ashamed of it anymore. I mean, that's what you're dealing with. So like I said, Kanye West, he has his, marries the super witch person, Lady Kim Kardashian, does all the crazy stuff. Everyone's like, don't marry her. There's the Kardashian curse. Everybody who gets with them, they become super messed up. And then it happens, and you're like, wow, that's really messed up. Everyone told him not to do it, and then he does it. And then it becomes this huge thing where in 2016, he was hospitalized at this personal trainer. I have to, it starts with a Y or something. Some guy, he's like some super Hollywood personal trainer. And as soon as he starts becoming your personal trainer, then you become completely drugged up and are unable to do anything that a normal person would do. Again, this guy, I have to get this guy's name. It's some ridiculous name. If you know the name, put it down in the comments. This guy will get with you. He used to work for the Canadian military. Literally did some MK Ultra stuff where his job was literally to, I think it was like test how drugs like affect behavior and how to get people to do desirable behavior or whatever. And then he hangs out with Ellen Page, and then he hangs out, he was with Britney Spears, back in the day, and he was with Kanye West, and like everybody who he's with ends up having like some horrific, and not even that long after, right? And so one of the things I want to tell you about the Kanye West thing is a lot of people are like, oh my God, he said, like, that's not about that. This is what it's about, bro. Share this video if you want to know what's up going on. Thank you very much. This is what it's about. It's about when he says something, it means a lot because they have like these contracts that, entertainers sign. Like, you cannot speak about how, whatever type of weird stuff they're doing in Hollywood that everybody knows about, right? They're actually, like, whether you believe it or not or care, they're doing like witchcraft and actual like spells and like trying to like sacrifice and do all this stuff. Like over in Italy, they have CERN, and they do like the big dances with all the devil and the multi-armed costumes in front of the portal, and they're trying to summon demons to come give them knowledge and stuff. Like, you can just look this up. It's very normal stuff. It's a big festival over there over by CERN, which is the giant particle accelerator. That's the type of stuff that they're doing. And Kanye West came up on this freaking Drinking Bros podcast, and it was a long podcast. It wasn't just like the two things that they tried to cherry pick to be like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. What about the actual end of the world? Shut up and stop talking about that. We only want you to care about it. Yes, same old stuff. Like I said, if these people cared about Jewish people, they wouldn't have completely sold out Israel to China, and then they're about to delete all of them, and then they're going to be mad. Me and Daryl Goodman tried to point that out. Insight to Israel tried to point that out. Israeli News Live, Stephen Benoud tried to point that out. And they don't want to hear any of those guys have to say, or me. So, again, they're just throwing stuff because they have money and power and guns, and they'll kill you. And they have personal trainers that come drug you up. And they have MSNBC, CNN, Fox News. They'll be like, oh, story about person who we've already had this story pre-written. Yeah. And you're like, huh? Same thing with Kyrie Irving. You're coming at people with religious stuff. Like, you can't question this religious thing, but you do realize that it's America, and one of the most favoritist thing for people in America to do is to debate and argue about religious texts of all kinds. Like, Jewish rabbis are getting in on it, and they're like they're not, oh my God, it's the worst. Like, there's a lot of them out there that are like, no, this is fantastic, let's talk about it. Christians are in on it, black people in on it, Muslims are in on it, Hebrew Israelites are in on it, all different types of non-religious people in on it, atheists are in on it. Everyone's getting in on the argument, and the more you freak out like, Kyrie, me, and then have Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley on TV like, oh man, his words like went out of his mouth and just cut a bunch of throats. It was terrible. Oh my God. What about actual people? No, don't talk about that. So it's like, okay. You're making people want to argue about religious texts. People love this stuff. I believe in God, but I'm not a religious person because, organized religion, I feel like they're, not telling the whole story. That's just me personally. So I use religions to go research deeper into what a lot of those people were doing back in the day, and I find a lot of interesting stuff. But either way, I like to learn about it because it's interesting to me, because I like to learn about all of them. And you're making people want to do that. And so it all was based on, there's a book from Hebrews to Negroes, I guess, on Amazon. Which Amazon, they didn't hit up Amazon, they didn't hit up Jeff Bezos, they didn't even hit up the guy who made the book and the movie. They're just going after, Kyrie Irving, and they're like, scream, you literally have harmed us. And then when you actually go watch the stuff and read the book, you're like, this is just the same thing that literally goes on every single day in America, all over like the news, the channel, people just talking about religious texts, and they're interpreting it the way that they feel. Now, is like just harming Jewish people and attacking them, is that good? No, that's not nice. That's not what we're talking about. They're just interpreting religious texts and all these things like we're the true Hebrews, and that there's a whole bunch of many different religious groups that believe about that. And you just like oh my God, you guys, y'all just gave them you just like plugged a giant cable and just cranked the whole entire new nuclear generator into that conversation. Hence me even making this video. And it's the lemon juicer, and it's just the emotions, and the people are, no, don't bring it up. And it's not just Jewish people that are upset about it. A lot of Jewish people are happy. I've talked to a couple of them personally. They're like, yeah, let's talk about it. It's cool. Let's, learn about me, learn about my people. It's great. But the thing is, elections are tomorrow, because today's November 7th. Tomorrow's November 8th. In the past couple of weeks, Republicans, Democrats, major institutions, whatever type of secret police, secret service, FBI, disguised lizard person as human organization, whatever whatever type of stuff they got going on. It's just continuing the thing of people taking them less serious, right? And that's what it's all about. That's what everything's been about. And they're desperately like, why won't you go back to sleep and not pay attention? And then proceed to literally completely ruin everything that people would normally go back to sleep on, like movies, music, TV, literally just shutting your eyes and having silence. Like, you can't have any of that stuff, right? And then they're confused, like, why won't people go back to sleep? Because you're not letting them. Like, the more you scream and say, you're only allowed to interpret the religious text, everyone busted out Bibles, Torahs, Talmuds, Qurans, just random other books, books about books, books written to debunk other books about books, tarot cards. They're just like, oh, see over here, oh, check this out. And you couldn't be more daft, and you couldn't be more unaware of your entire self than trying to religiously target somebody in America because you claim to be, well, they don't claim to be, some of them are Zionists, some of them are Jesuit Christians, some of them are atheists, whatever. These people in the government and the media and all this stuff, they're like attacking people for religious reasons in America. And I'm like, oh man, you see a lot of people like that. I think that they genuinely think that because they hang out with a bunch of people who are like either scared or believe whatever it is that they're trying to flip on the news and stuff, they genuinely think that like people are scared of them. When in reality, people literally feed off of negativity because they create all this negativity. And then when the negativity cannon comes their way and people are like, yeah, let's talk smack, they're like, oh my God, no, you can't do that. Yes, people are going to talk smack. So the more you go after Kyrie Irving, I don't even know if Kyrie Irving what he actually believes in. You know what I mean? He just, posted some stuff and they didn't go after Amazon. He posted a movie that, like, it's not a new movie. It's not a new book. Some of the stuff is kind of old. But, like, again, people have been arguing this stuff forever. And they love it. This is America. People love arguing religious texts and stuff all over the place. To the point to where people, like, literally their whole life and the political thing is to be the anti whatever the religious people are doing and all that. That's what's going on here in America, right? So that's the Kyrie Irving thing. Like, they're trying to punish him for posting this, this book or documentary. It was one of the two. It wasn't one, because then they're trying to extrapolate. We watched the Rolling Stones. Last night it was like 4 hours. Watched the Rolling Stones. Somebody broke down their articles and all the things that are coming out. They're basically just, attaching stereotypes to Jewish people and then saying that he said that. It's like, I think you're just doing the thing. Anyway, it's all a distraction because they're trying to shame people, because elections are coming up. If you don't do what we say, oh my God, you're going to, oh, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. But again, you live in America. People love to talk smack. You hyper-polarize people and made them smack talking, and then when they literally are like 99.8% agreeing with you, like, no, my 0.2%, and then you try to like literally have them killed, of course people are going to go all over the place and say the exact opposite of what you want. And then all these groups of all these different things, which some of them, the reason why they're freaking out is because the groups that they are freaking out about are not controlled by like some secret Fed organization or whatever, and they literally are like, oh no, when's the last time you've seen them actually bust some real, like, neo-Nazis or some Klan members or something? And I'm like, dude, they're all part of, like, the little Masonic groups and stuff. Like, good for them. If they want to be in their little, group where they're doing their little, weirdo stuff or cool stuff, whatever. But, like, I'm just not cool with any of that stuff personally, and I don't want anything to do with it. Or you telling me what to do. So, and most people don't either. So that's what it's all about. Like, you guys really just made a mega mind movie. Just your brain is so big, it was floating in the sky. You just floated right into a landfill and just slid right into the sewage. Like, you're just so dumb. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't agree. Oh my God, you're hurting our feelings. Listen, I talk to literally everybody, and I'm a nosy, nerdy, nice person, right? Allegedly, right? I talk to Jewish people. I talk to gay people, black people, white people, people you would think are just unsavory. And you talk to them, they're like, oh wow, you're actually pretty cool. That's what a lot of them don't do that. These are people who are just on television, or they just like, they scared, bruh. That's cool. That's cool. But they really thought that people wouldn't get on the internet and just start talking about it. Oh, censor the internet. Oh, wait. Elon Musk got Twitter. Even though, like I said, I'm not like I don't just trust him, just think he's just some great person. I'm sure he's just like anybody else. He's, wearing some Baphomet, stuff for Halloween, and the big giant skull and all the upside down cross and all that stuff. So, I mean, you know what that's all about. Like I said, we talked about earlier, World Economic Forum and stuff, but man, he trolls on the internet. It's very funny. he makes products that people like. And, you know, when he gives an interview, he's very upfront with a lot of things. And, you know, he talks about whatever you ask him about. So a lot of people like him a lot. But he got Twitter, man. And because y'all literally sued him and forced him to buy Twitter so that you could make money, but at the same time you're mad that he got Twitter because he wasn't going to do what you want, it's like y'all are just so not intelligent when it comes to like not gaffing yourselves to death. You just gaff, like it just gaffs 24/7. Ooh, I just made a mistake. But then like the only way that you can enforce people to not think, because people are thinking inside their heads, until you get that brain chip in there, you're not going to tell people what to think, literally, and be like, hey, we got some thinkers over here, zap, you know. Until then, people are going to think the opposite of what you tell them, or many, you know, deviations of whatever direction of what you tell them. And like I said, you have a very religious country, even though some people are like tacitly religious, like, oh, I'm a Christian, or I'm a this, or I'm a that, and they don't really like, all types of religions, like, people say I'm devout this, but then they'll be like, well, over here I like to, do it. But that's America. You can do whatever you want. You have that. And you blatantly are just like finding what the one thing that any of these religious groups would want, and you're just doing the opposite in their face on TV all day, just disrespecting them, like, oh, they're not bowing down. Bitch, because they ain't scared of you. You're not even that. A lot of people will size you up. They'd be like, I'll whoop his ass. So whenever you're coming out, you're like, oh, I'm some fear me. And people are like, come on, bro. Like I said, the reason why all this matters isn't because they're afraid of minority groups being attacked or hurt, because they literally do that every single day. They make everybody, make most people in America, they make them hurt. But because it's exposing their influence peddling operations. Like I said, you'd say, well, why couldn't they just tell us their ideas and what they really believe and just have like a conversation about it? Because that's not who you're dealing with, boss. It's not who you're dealing with. You guys think that you're dealing with some people who just walked up one day and were like, I am moral, let me be in charge. Okay, here you go. Couldn't be further from the truth. So, let me know what y'all think. Y'all share this video. I try to have like a big picture thing about a lot of this stuff, because, whenever you argue about religious stuff, people want to, shut your channel down. Oh, you can't even talk about my religion, or, oh my God, wait, you're part of my religion, but you're going against the narrative at the time. Oh, it's time for you to go, and all that stuff. So like I said, you can win and you can beat them as arguments, but like I'm not really interested in necessarily doing that all the time. I'm interested in the big picture for this. A lot of other stuff I can drill down really easily, but for me, religion is so has so many other things that they don't teach in regular school or whatever. You know what I mean? Or just in anywhere in America, officially in like the official institutions, that having that conversation with a lot of people is just really hard, because they really think that, that people who are institutions actually have your best interests at heart, when many of them think that they do, but they work for, a larger Borg that's not having it. So, yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below.